This is J. Krishnamurti's first discussion with students in Amsterdam, 1967.
What shall we talk about? I hope most of you understand English. Yes? Yeah. Then what shall we talk about? What shall we talk about together?
About falling in love.
Très bien. I think there's room up there.
About the search for the security.
Right, so let's begin with that and we'll come to that too.
Can you speak about several kinds of sex, such as heterosexuality and homosexuality?
Right, we'll discuss all that. I don't quite see what is there much to talk about falling in love. Is there?
No.
Huh? You are or you are not? Huh? And when you do, the trouble begins. Huh? No? In that peculiar state, don't we feel the need for security? The need that you possess or hold or a companion to that one. We want to discuss the actual state of mind that is in love.
Yes.
The actual state of mind.
Can it be something fundamental, or is it just a state of the mind? Or
A sentimental?
no, and
Fundamental.
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 Fundamental state mind.
So what takes place when one falls in love? Actually, what takes place? There is, for the time being, isn't there, a sense of forgetfulness of oneself. No? There are all the urges of the sexual glands, all the demands of sex and so on, but behind all that, isn't there a sense of not this tremendous occupation with oneself? Or is there the accentuation of that? Well, you should know, I'm asking.
Maybe it is losing yourself.
Yes, which is the
Well,
which is not the sense of me in domination.
I don't think it's losing yourself. It's just an different state of mind. I think yourself is built up out of many selves. I think sometimes you are one and other times the other.
Of course, obviously. I mean, this complete self-forgetfulness doesn't exist, even when one is in love with another. But it's a field in which perhaps the self doesn't function too obviously.
What do you mean by obviously?
Too dominantly, too aggressively. And perhaps from that we could go into this question of sex and security and all that. Why has sex become such extraordinarily important?
Because it has been a taboo for a long time.
Yes, sir, but that's only a temporary release.
Yeah.
But why has sex throughout the world, in America, in Europe and in India, the whole world, why has it taken such extraordinary importance? As though it was, for most people now, it's as though for the first time they have discovered it, or it has existed. Why?
Because it makes you more happy.
There's a little more behind that. Let's go into it a little bit more. Of course, it makes, at least one thinks it makes one happy and all the rest of it. But why this demand and why this urgency and why this craving and this, the urgency, the pursuit of it? Why?
Because sex is easier.
No, sir, I understand. Go a little more.
Isn't it because the difficulties we have to struggle with, we put into sex? It's
Flight.
It's because of security.
No, let's examine it, sir. Let's examine it. Why?
The other ways of creativity are blocked. I mean, the others.
No,
You have no other means to be
Yes,
creative.
that's right. But now, just a minute, look at that. That is, intellectually, we are very imitative.
What did you say?
Imitative, conforming,
Yes.
obeying. Following. Intellectually, there is nothing original in us. Right?
Sir, you told yesterday night about the fundamental love that can be and that changes the mind. The real love come into the silence.
Wait a minute, sir. We come to that presently. First, let us go into this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, intellectually, you know what I mean by the intellect? The capacity to reason clearly, objectively. We do that in business or in the laboratory, in science and so on. But in human relationship, there is no freedom in the very process of thinking, reasoning. There is a great deal of conformity, isn't there? That is, the intellect has been conditioned by the society, by the literature, by the family, by the country, by the climate. It's enclosed, right? Do we see? I mean, do you agree to that?
But cannot you see a change in this?
Wait, sir. First see what it actually is, and then we can see whether we can change it or not. The actual fact is, intellectually, the intellect, the capacity to understand, the capacity to pursue a thing to the very end. The power of clarity. In which there is decision, precision. That is blocked, isn't it? No? And that's why you observe throughout the world there is a revolt against the established order. But the revolt is not fundamental, it is merely at a certain level. So intellectually we are barred. We are blocked. I think this is fairly obvious because we obey authority, we have the ideological pursuits and so on and so on. So intellectually, in our capacity to think very logically, we're not free, right? So that is one of the reasons, isn't it? Since we are blocked, hindered, intellectually, and emotionally we are also. Right? No?
Some people have it in art, of course, in more.
No, wait. When they express themselves in art, what takes place? They become much more sensitive,
Yes.
more alive to the senses,
Yes.
and so therefore more demanding sexually.
I don't know, or it is another way.
But we're examining it.
Yes, yes.
And intellectually, emotionally, we are blocked, and at much deeper level also. I don't know if it means anything, all this to you. At much deeper level of in our consciousness. Huh?
But just because we are feeling all this, we try to find ways out of.
Wait, sir. First see what is the actual state, and then we'll find a way out.
I mean, the intellectual blockage or
Yes.
hindrance is very obvious, but
So,
about feelings.
And look, aren't you, when one is young, you see what society is, how we are educated, to fulfill in a certain field only, to pursue a job, live in a terribly monotonous life. I don't know if you
Yes.
a routine in which there is no freedom at all. So,
Actually, on this level, it's very clear.
Yeah.
But on level of feelings and the ways you are intimidated by other people's and by
of course,
It's-
all
it's
that's
not so
implied.
clear.
All that's implied. Look, sir, especially in Europe, there is this whole, when you are young, you have to go to the army. You follow? And that's a terrible thing.
You have not. You can refuse.
then what happens?
Very good.
You can refuse.
There's a new law. There's a new law that you can go to.
And so that you're a
undeveloped
conscious
countries and
subjector.
be trained to help in underdeveloped countries.
Yes, I know that. But how few of us do that?
Well, it's new.
No. What I mean, actually, that's we are trying to discuss what actually takes place.
Yes, it's true.
So intellectually, emotionally, in the sense we are talking about, and at deeper levels of our being, there is complete blockage. There is fear. There is a sense of conformity to the established order. Isn't there?
Yes.
So,
But
What-
the young men don't have fear to go in the army.
no, sir, they must. No, they don't have.
It is normal question. You are 18 years and you go in the army.
Not for
It's
everyone.
very normal. You have to go in the war. That is a question. But
Look, sir.
military
Look,
service.
sir, all right, I may not object, because for the moment it's fun. But what is implied in this? What is implied in going to the army,
Yes,
you know,
are
being
forgetting-
trained
Yes,
to become a what?
you are forgetting this.
Hey,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it must, somewhere in our being, there must be a rebellion against it. And all that side on one side, then there's the whole field of the religious field, where you accept authority. There's Christ, and you go to, all that business. So, when one is young, where the sexual demand is very strong, you are blocked right through your being, right? And there's only one release. And so, right through the world, this becomes extraordinarily important. And when there is a release, intellectually, emotionally, deep down, sex has its own place, or no, it's not, it becomes a secondary issue. I don't even... So the question is really whether one can free oneself from these blockages.
But you first
What's the
want
way
to.
out?
Huh?
But you first want, you have to feel inside that you want to get rid of these blockages. I mean, you have to know that it is a blockage
Right.
inside.
But
How do you know?
Exactly. How do you know?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you know you are blocked? You're blocked.
That's what I.
Yes. How do you know? No. Yes, sir.
So I think that you have dependence of your own. When you are blocked in this case, you are dependence of yourself. Dependent of yourself.
Depend on yourself, he means.
Therefore, it's very acute.
You are not free.
This blockade means no freedom.
Yes.
But how do you, please do listen to this for a minute. How do you know you're blocked?
It's very clear in relationships.
Wait, sir. No, it's not clear. How do you know, sir? How do you know anything?
By education.
Huh?
Parents.
No, sir. No, please do look at it. When you say "I know," we are trying to analyze the meaning of that word "I know." Now, when do you say "I know"?
Compare.
No. You. How do you know that you are blocked? Because somebody tells you?
You have to experience it.
No, wait, sir, wait. Go slowly. Don't. How do you? Has someone to tell you that you have got these blockages? Huh?
You feel it.
You understand? You are unhappy. You have problems. So you.
I know. If you have problems,
Yeah.
yes, sir. Wait. If you have problems, do you try to find out the blockages, or you
No.
want only the answer?
No, you try to find out why.
Wait. How do you find out?
By talking, reading, traveling.
Therefore, somebody has to tell you. The analyst, the priest, your father, or somebody has to tell you. Or can you find it out for yourself?
Finally, you have to find out for yourself.
Do you?
Yes.
By experience.
No, sir. This is really very complex thing. Don't just quickly throw it out.
You told about another other part of your brains.
Wait, sir, I'm coming to that slowly. I want to go into it slowly. You're too quick.
No, you have a sense of totality or something like that.
And not some. No.
No, really. But
No, I'm just asking, how do you know anything?
You don't know anything.
I know, madam, I see, look, please. When you use the word know, I know I'm blocked, what does that mean?
They're sometimes not blocked, maybe.
Of course, when you're not blocked, it's fairly simple. But we are now trying to find out, when you say, I know I'm blocked, how do you know?
I think that it's mostly by that another person tells it to you, but it is very difficult to see it for yourself.
Either somebody tells you,
or you read about it.
Or same thing, read about it or and so on, or you discover it for yourself.
But that is very difficult.
Huh?
That is very difficult to
We-
see it for yourself, that you are blocked.
Can
be
I
also
think that when you have conflicts with other persons, you feel that there's something strange, there's something in you that it's not complete.
You feel self-conscious.
yes, it's a lack of completeness, something like that.
No, sir, you're going off. I'm afraid we're not thinking about this. Wait, sir. I am blocked. How do I know? Either somebody tells me, book, or a friend, or I discover it in my relationship, which is very, very difficult. Right? How do I know that I am blocked?
Contradiction with yourself.
No, madam. No, you haven't gone into it. Have you been blocked?
I thought, yes. I
Now,
think
wait. If you have been blocked, how do you know you're blocked?
I want to be else than I am at that moment. So I want to be
Wait.
different.
Therefore, no. You see, if you say I want to be different from what I am,
Feel, yeah.
huh?
Yes.
Is that because you're blocked?
Not deep inside.
No.
No, because it's think.
Huh? No, you please do patience.
You don't know. You know when you are blocked, when you understand that you know understands the truth. A very big feeling that you don't have the truth.
So I know when I'm blocked in a room because there is no way out. Hmm?
That I will say.
Right. I am not blocked when I see a door and I can walk out. Hmm? And do I know that I am blocked in that sense? That there is no outlet. And how do I discover that I am blocked?
So I think you are enclosed, and you can get out.
Get out. Yes, I understand that. You're not meeting. Am I making this too impossibly difficult?
No.
But if you know you are blocked, it is a beginning of a solution.
No, I'm afraid our English may be the difficulty.
Isn't it that when you say I am blocked, that you put something, that you put something on yourself which is not there,
No.
but you say it because you...
I am asking, please, would you kindly listen first? Don't answer me. Just find out, how do you know for yourself that you are blocked? How do I know I'm blind? I don't see clearly. Because I can't see clearly. Right? Nobody has to tell me. Because the print or the leaf or the person I don't see very clearly. Then I know I'm short-sighted or long-sighted, right? But nobody has to tell me.
Because you know.
But no, it is so.
Is a fact. Yeah.
No,
Isn't partly the problem that if one is blind, one has seen in the past, one remembers?
No,
This
but
is something where
don't spoil it. Don't spoil it yet. Don't go back to memory. I can't see this microphone very clearly because that's a fact. I'm short-sighted or long-sighted, and I can't see. Nobody has to tell me that I'm short-sighted or long-sighted because there is the fact. Do I know in that same sense that I'm blocked?
No.
Huh?
No, you can't know that. You cannot know that. If you are really blocked, you don't know that.
So, if you don't know it, who is to tell you? No, sir, watch it, sir. Please go slowly, sir.
Yeah.
If you don't know it, and if you realize that you are dependent on somebody to tell you, the analyst, because you are in conflict, because you have a problem, right? What tells you that you are blocked? Conflict, doesn't it? Any conflict is an indication that there is something wrong. Any conflict, obviously. When the machine doesn't run smoothly, there's something wrong with it. You call in an engineer and he'll put it right. But unfortunately, we have no engineers to put us right. So, how do I know that I am blocked? I only know it when I am in conflict. Right? No?
You are disturbed in your
Wait, that when I know I'm disturbed, when I know there is a conflict, there's a problem. Right?
You are blocked when you have tried 3 or 4 times different ways to come out and you haven't success.
That's right.
Or 10
That's
times.
right.
Then
That's
you
right.
have, you can say I'm blocked. When you have a trouble or a problem,
That's right.
then you are not blocked.
Oh yes, wait. You're too... Go slowly, sir, you will find out. When you have experimented, done this, that and that, various things, and you find you are blocked.
When you see the just way.
Huh?
When you see the just way.
When you see the right way.
The right way.
How can a mind that's blocked see what is right?
The block is only so far as you see it. It is a narrow kind of seeing. If you look more far, then you still see your block is not so big as you saw.
No, sir, we're not talking of the bigness or the narrowness or the size of the blockage, but we're trying to find out whether one can find out for oneself that one is blocked.
I want to say there is no block. It is only the perception of the block.
That's the next step, sir.
Because you have to choose.
So when you choose, your mind indicates that you are in chaos. A clear mind doesn't choose. Huh? What is there to choose? It's only when you are confused. No, when you are confused, we choose. Ah, no, don't say yes. So, I can only find out that I am blocked when I know that I am in conflict. Right? And there is no escape from that conflict. If I have escaped, then I run away from that conflict. No?
Yeah. When you want to escape, that is the perception of you are blocked.
I wonder for English, English a bit difficult.
When you want to escape, that's the fault.
So, no, not I want to escape. I unconsciously or thoughtlessly escape. I'm in conflict. Huh? I'm in conflict with my wife or with my mother or whatever it is. What takes place? I don't like it, and I turn on the radio, take to drink, or run away, do various things, right? Which means I am not able to solve the conflict, and I take the easiest way to get away from it. But the conflict exists. And the conflict indicates there is a state of blockage somewhere. Right. Now what do I do when I discover, not told, I don't know if you see the difference. When somebody tells me I am hungry, and when I am actually hungry, are two different states. Right? So I discover that I am blocked intellectually. Then what do I do?
Thinking.
Huh?
Thinking.
All right, sir. Thinking. What do you mean by that word?
To go.
To go into
again and again.
Yeah, to examine it.
Yes.
Huh? To examine the blockage.
Yes.
Now, how do you examine a thing? Listen to it very carefully, sir. How do you examine anything? Huh?
Yeah.
How do you examine anything? Through thought? Wait, listen. Please do listen to my question. How do you examine a person or examine a tree? Examine, you understand? Study it. Explore. Investigate. Look into. When do you do that? First, to explore, there must be freedom.
Yes.
No,
yes.
Go
Yes,
slowly, go
yes,
slowly.
Yes,
Otherwise you can't explore. Right?
This is a vicious circle, sir.
Wait, sir, I know. Wait. It's a vicious circle because we don't know how to get out of it, right? We'll go into it. You will see it in a minute. So, freedom is necessary to examine. Freedom. And I know I'm blocked. Right? I know I'm blocked, and to examine that blockage, that hindrance, freedom is necessary. Right? Right? Now, which is important first?
You see, this blockage most of the time is emotional, and in such a state I have experienced, it's very difficult to be free and to see that freedom is necessary.
No, not in that state. But which do you demand first, freedom or freedom from a certain blockage?
You see, I say that you can't simply ask, you don't ask the question of this freedom. You are in that state and you want to get out.
Yes, sir, I understand that. But now I'm asking you, not when you are in that state, which is your first demand? Freedom or freedom from a blockage? Huh?
Freedom.
Huh?
Freedom.
All right. Huh? No, please. Do you want to be free from a certain blockage, or do you want to be free from, or do you want freedom?
Mostly we only want to be free from that blockage.
Wait, that's it. Therefore what takes place? You don't want freedom. You want to be free from a certain impediment.
We are looking for a way.
Wait, sir, look at it. So we don't demand that we must be free. We only demand that we must be free from a certain hindrance. Right? Now, why don't you demand freedom and not from a particular bondage?
You don't know what you mean by that.
It's not what I mean.
No. You don't know it yourself. You don't know what it is, freedom.
So, as you don't know what freedom is, don't demand to be free from a particular bondage. I don't know. So demand something much greater than a particular.
No, I understand.
Is freedom to be quite yourself?
I don't know. First of all, sir, don't give an explanation or define what freedom is. We'll find that out. But you can only find out if you are not demanding to be free from a particular hindrance. Because you are demanding something much infinitely greater than the little thing.
If you ask not what is the meaning or the state of this blockage, but if you ask what is the state of blockage in general, then
and to examine it. Which means you must have freedom to examine.
No, you need only to be free to have freedom in intellectual.
No.
From different sides come to the problem. This is the objective effect.
I don't see how you can ask for total freedom.
Wait, sir.
Looking for
Therefore, what happens when you don't ask for the great thing, but are satisfied with the little thing?
No, it's not that.
But it's not a question of being satisfied. No. At that moment, you want to escape from this state. You want to be secure.
Sure. And you find some way to escape from it.
Yes.
right? And you escape.
But you are afraid of this big freedom at the same time.
Yes.
Psychologically.
Psychologically, you are afraid to be free.
Yes.
Yes, obviously.
Because we don't know what it is.
Therefore, let's find out what it is first.
But you see, this is this vicious circle.
I understand that.
You can't find out, as you say, until you are free.
No, you will see in a minute, sir. You don't call it a vicious circle and remain there. I don't want to be merely free from a certain blockage. That's fairly simple. I want to be free totally, all round.
So I can understand that when you want to observe a thing, then there must there must not be fear, or you have to be in a state that you can observe. That is the difficulty, and I think that it is everything you want to observe, that always there you must be able to observe. And is that what you want by what you mean by freedom?
We're going to go into it, so do give it a minute.
Is that you must have an idea what it is freedom.
Oh no, an idea is not, then you're caught in the idea, which is not freedom.
I don't think there is very much difference between freedom from all blockings and what we call the greater freedom. So,
sir, look, sir, I am blocked. Emotionally or intellectually or in different ways, I am blocked. And I say I must be free from that blockage. And I don't know how to be free. I avoid it. I escape from it. Right? And I'm caught in another pattern. In another blockage. Because I'm blocked here and I escape from it and I enter into another trap. So I'm trapped all round. Right? So before I get trapped, before I get escape, I say, look, what is the most important thing in this? To be free. To be free from all blockages, not one particular blockage. Now, is there such freedom to be totally free? And what does it mean to be totally free? I don't know what it means, right? Right, sir? I don't know what it means to be totally free. So how shall I find out? By having a concept about it? Obviously not. An idea about it? Right?
By being it. By being it.
I don't know what it means.
But if you don't know that the blockage is in yourself, you never can come free. The blockage is.
No, sir. We'll come back to that presently. You're not meeting I'm not making myself clear then. I don't know what freedom is, right? But I know what is not freedom, right? Why don't I deny that? Do you understand?
You want to deny what is not freedom.
Yeah. That I can recognize. That I know what is not freedom.
Yes.
And can I negate that?
No.
Why not?
You should deny it.
Huh?
You should deny it.
You should.
Deny it.
You should deny it.
Negate it.
No.
That you are, that you can know it.
So, look, sir, do go slowly. I know, say, for example, nationalism is not freedom. Right? Born in India, with all the nationalistic, with all the religious, with all the superstition. I say that's not freedom. Why can't I can deny that, can't I? I can negate it. What does that negation mean? Because I understand the nature of that, of belonging to a certain group. I understand it. Therefore, the understanding of something which is not freedom is in itself a denial. I don't know if I'm making that clear. Huh? Right? So, can I not deny the whole sociological structure and psychological structure which is not freedom? Anger is not freedom. Right? Envy is not freedom. Competition is not freedom. Can I negate that? Of course I can. That is finished. No more anger. Therefore, when you negate what is not freedom, then you have the positive state which is freedom, which you don't have to describe.
Can you repeat this again? It goes too quick for me.
Too quick. Sorry. What did I say?
When you negate that which is not freedom, then you have the positive state of that which is freedom, which you don't have to define.
So if I negate all the psychological states which are not freedom, like nationalism, like my belonging to a particular class, particular religion, particular group, follow this, very difficult this, particular kind of activity, commitment, communist, socialist, you follow? Lutheran or Roman Catholic, this or that. To deny all that, to negate all that. And I can only negate it when there is no conflict. I don't know if you're following all this. When I realize how stupid it is to call myself a Hindu, stupid, I realize it. Because it is stupid, I'm free of it. I don't have to battle against it.
But the problem is that you must realize or experience that is stupid.
Wait. So how will you experience the blockage? How will you know that it is stupid to be a nationalist?
To see what is the result of it.
Therefore, nobody has to tell you.
No, you can see it yourself.
That's all. You see it for yourself. Because you have examined it, you have studied it, you can see it around you. What it has produced, wars. So you could say, that can be denied. Right? You see what envy has done in the world. So you can deny.
Yes, you see, the problem is that when you are in the state of being envious, of being nationalistic...
At that moment you can't do anything.
Well, but this is what is happening in the world, you know.
Wait, I know. But look, in that moment when I'm envious, I can't. I am envious.
Yes.
I'm envious of you because you're cleverer, you're this, you're that. And I have no time to examine why I'm envious. I just am envious. Right? So what gives me time to examine?
Ik wil graag wat zeggen, wie wil het voor mij in Engels vertalen?
Huh? What's that?
She wants to ask you anything, but she can only speak Dutch.
Please, somebody will translate.
Wanneer wij een probleem niet op kunnen lossen,
We can't solve a problem.
dan is het niet het probleem dat onoplosbaar is.
And it isn't the problem that is insolvable.
Dan ligt dus het feit dat we het
Don't
niet
translate by phrase, translate the whole thing, otherwise.
Dan ligt dus het feit dat we het niet op kunnen lossen in onszelf. Hè?
But if we can't solve is in ourselves. The reason of that is in ourselves.
En wanneer wij werkelijk dus daarin gaan zoeken in onszelf, wat dus het probleem onoplosbaar maakt, dan moeten we dus datgene in onszelf onmiddellijk of afleggen of veranderen. Eigenlijk afleggen.
What's the question, sir? Wait, what's the question, sir?
Well, when you have a problem, you must find a solution in yourself. And then to find that solution, you must so to say, take away the problem, get rid of the problem. Isn't it? Is that right?
No.
Different?
When you find out what it is in yourself which makes the problem insoluble.
Sir, no. Sir, we're not dealing with problems for the moment, madam. We are discussing something entirely different, not how to be free from a problem. We are trying to find out whether one can negate without conflict, first. You follow, sir? Without conflict, can I negate nationalism? Because I understand what the implications of nationalism are, and I can drop it. Can I do the same with envy? Anger, competition? You follow? Have I to take one by one, or can I negate the whole thing? I don't know if you're following that.
Yes.
Which means negate the whole psychological structure of society, which is me.
That's something.
Huh?
That's something.
Huh?
That's something.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of great things.
Must I take one by one the blockages? You follow? The things which are not freedom, one by one and negate it? Or can I negate the whole thing because I understand the whole structure of social psychology, which is myself?
And I think freedom is to accept that you can never be completely free.
All right, then there's no problem. If I accept that I can never
That's
become...
the problem. The problem is how to accept.
It's very simple.
No.
Just comply. Just follow. I don't like to be a Hindu, but I'm forced to be a Hindu, or I just am a Hindu.
No, you are not forced.
Then?
No. You first have to find out.
I have found out.
If you have to be forced or not. And in that choice, you are not free, I think, in a certain level.
Where there is choice, sir, there is no freedom at all.
Can you not be free as a Christian, as a Hindu, as a Buddhist?
Yeah, you can.
That's what I would say.
No, he says, can you
And
be free
as
being
a
a Christian, being a Buddhist, being a Hindu?
Yes.
Which means what? Can you be free from the conditioning in which you have been brought up from childhood? Right?
Well, I don't know. I
So
think
can you be free whilst remaining Christian, whilst
Is
remaining
that it?
Hindu?
Oh no, that's a trick.
Well, you see, I can see that when I'm living in this society, although I do not agree with many aspects of it, perhaps not with the whole society at all, I cannot be tied up by the whole thing, but I can be free and still live in this society, isn't it?
Ah, that's a different matter.
But that's what I mean.
Ah, that is, be free from the psychological structure of society
Yes.
and yet live in society.
Yeah.
Of course. I can live in this society though I'm not competitive.
Yes, but perhaps other people are competitive for you.
Ah, no. I don't care if they are competitive for me or not. I am not competitive. So the thing is really, there is nationalism, a childhood conditioning, there is the religious conditioning, there is the economic conditioning, the three major conditionings, right? And I can see by observing what it produces in the world. And by observing, my mind has become much more acute, much more sensitive, much more alive. So can I not deny this whole thing without becoming a communist, which is another form of religion? You follow, sir?
Yes.
Can I not deny the whole thing?
What happens if you do?
Find out. Yes, obviously. What happens cannot be told. You must drop it, and then you'll find out. So one discovers something very fundamental, that when you deny something which is not true, which does not lead to freedom, and you deny it completely, in that very negative action is the positive.
So,
Wait, if you don't understand, this is very important to understand. You got it, sir?
Yes.
do you mean by denial not a kind of suppression?
No.
To see the structure of the society and your own functioning in the society, and
yes.
then by that insight,
That's
automatically.
That's right.
But then
there is no suppression, there is no control,
yes.
There is no sublimation. You see the thing as it is.
This is spontaneous question thing.
You see the thing as it is, therefore you... And to see the thing as it is, your mind must be sharp.
But must you not study or this society, the structure of this society, and your own relation in this society? Then you must have much information and so on.
Oh no, I don't have much information. I can see what's involved in the whole sociological structure. My greed, my ambitions, my despairs, my gods, I mean the whole thing. I have created this society of which I am a part.
But how do we do this actually? For instance, we can read all kinds of books about this society, but that is not what you mean.
Oh no. So that's
yes.
It's all in yourself if you observe.
But that is very difficult to...
No, it's not. I'm going to show it to you.
To be able to observe, you have to study. And
No.
You have education.
No,
schools, that's it.
no.
Yes.
No.
Have to be great.
Yes and no.
You have to have a language. That's it.
So first of all, you are the result of the total conditioning of man, right? Whether you are a Dutchman or a Hindu, right? You are the result of 2,000 years of organized propaganda called religion. No? As Christians. Not that there is not a different kind of religion. We'll leave that for the moment. And you can be without studying, you see it in yourself. Right? No?
Yes, but that's the problem. There is the starting point that you must begin to observe yourself.
Now, how do you learn to observe?
To look to yourself.
No. Do go into it a little bit. It's much more complex than that. So, how do you observe a flower?
Open my eyes.
And of course. You can't.
Not that.
I understand, sir. Do you observe? Now, how do you look at that African violet? Do the experiment with it. See how you look at it.
To see it in context.
Huh? So you see it in a context, which means what? You don't see the flower.
You can only say it is a flower when you know much more of it.
No, sir. No, just look, sir. Look, there is that thing, with whatever it is. You look at it, don't you? Do you name it?
If I have the name.
No.
So if you have no name?
You gave us the name.
No.
You just love it.
Then you just look, don't you? Huh? Which means what? That no thought interferes with your looking.
If I see something I didn't know, I don't see it really.
No, sir.
You see something.
When you see a tree, do you see the tree? Or do you see the image you have about that tree?
The image.
And therefore you don't see the tree.
What do you mean by the image? Which
Huh?
image? What do you mean with the image of the tree?
That is the knowledge, the name, whether you like it, or many other things which goes to create the image about a tree, about a person. So can you observe without the image?
Yes.
Huh?
I can.
You can.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Only if you see a new thing, never seen it before.
Of course, when it's a new thing, naturally you look. But we're talking of looking at a tree and looking at yourself, which is not the new.
For me, there's no difference whether it is new or not.
No.
Huh?
No, sir.
You only can see the things if you are silent in yourself.
Which means what? That you can see things only when the mind is quiet.
Yes.
Huh? Wait, sir, wait. Now, can you, so you see or understand only when the mind is quiet. That is, when you are aware, without any choice, right? Without any conflict, then you can observe. Right.
And then you begin to...
Wait, so go slow. So you observe yourself without any choice. Can you do it?
I tried.
I no. Trying and doing are two different things. I can try to be good, but being good is quite different.
But then you have to know what is good.
No, I'm not. I'm just a simile. I'm not taking that. So, can I come into this room and look at everything that's in this room without any sense of condemnation or approval? If I cannot do that, because it's fairly easy objectively, I cannot possibly observe myself without choice, without comparison.
If it don't make a difference what you do see, if it really don't make a difference, then you can say that I am not agree with it, or I agree with it. Don't
Sir, but do it. First do it, sir. See what takes place. When I entered this room, I look at all this furniture, these pictures, the curtains, and the carpet, and the floor, and the proportions of the room, the beam, and so on, so on. What takes place in me? Either I like it or I don't like it.
You go in relation with it. If you don't go in relation, you...
So, not if actually, please, sir, and not this is theoretical, but actually what happens.
You go in relation with it.
That means what?
You have a feeling of it.
Which means what? You like it or don't like it?
Yes, that is it.
If you say, I like it, then you're not aware, is your inclination, your prejudices are dictating. Obviously. No?
I didn't understand the last thing you said.
Your inclination, your prejudices are dictating your appreciation or not.
No, if you see a new thing, you have no appreciation.
No, but sir, this is not a new thing.
For me it is.
Oh no, sir, you have been into a room, haven't you? In your own room, your own house, your own whatever it is. You go in there and you have certain pictures, curtains, carpets, chairs, and you say, I like it very much, or I don't like it. When you say that, you're not observing. When I say I love you, I've blocked myself from looking at you. No? So is it possible to look at you totally impersonally and yet be completely intimate with you? No, this is quite good.
I think there are two kinds of observing.
No,
we
sir.
speak about different kinds of observing.
No, I'm making a very simple observation. There are many types of observation. I'm just saying a very simple thing, which is how do you observe a tree, a room, a person? Either you observe with like or dislike. That's an actual fact. When you observe with like, you don't see. Nor do you see when you say, I don't like. So can you observe without like and dislike? No.
Perhaps you don't live then, I think.
Wait a minute, what do you say you don't live?
Well, if it is for you, it don't make any difference.
I didn't say that. You see, sir, it's not a question of difference. Of course there is a difference between that picture and this table.
I mean in feeling.
I know that, sir, do first find out, sir, whether you can look at something without like and dislike. Find out, not theorize about it.
And yet feel it.
Huh?
And yet feel something.
You will find out.
I think my friend is trying to say that when you succeed in this, then you don't live anymore.
But how do you know, sir?
Well, that's what you said.
How do you, is like and dislike a living? It's a conflict. I like you and I don't like him.
You can like both.
And then I don't see clearly the both. Because I like them so much, I don't... So can I look at something objectively outside of me without any sense of contradiction?
I think hardly.
Can I see that plant without the interference of thought, the image, the association?
No, you cannot.
Huh?
It's possible.
No, I cannot.
Maybe you can, I can.
No, sir, try it. Not I can, you can't, but we don't do it. We remain at the verbal level. And if I can't look at that plant without like and dislike, that is, without the image and association, then how can I look at myself? You follow? I can't. Therefore, I say, by Jove, let me begin outwardly, right? Let me look at the tree, the people, the world outside of me without a like or dislike. See what is that state without the image. Find out. Don't speculate that it is not or it's possible or not possible. So, when you do that, your awareness is sharpened, isn't it? No? Your awareness becomes dull when it only functions within the limited field of like and dislike.
But I don't understand. Maybe a landscape which you prefer above another landscape. What you find is more beautiful.
Yes, sir. That's what we are saying. Look at the landscape and the hideous buildings of a town without... Look. First look. Don't say one is beautiful, the other is not beautiful, but first look. Without this condemnatory spirit in you. And that's extremely, demands a great deal of observation. Then begin, if you can be so aware outwardly, then you can perhaps look at yourself. Actually what you are. Then you begin to discover your blockages. Then you begin to say, well, I am not going little by little to remove my blockages. I am going to deny the whole thing.
When you are without source, you see then a new thing?
You see, you want me to describe something. You have to do this yourself, sir. You know, sir, what they are doing? People are taking LSD, you know that drug? Has it come to Holland?
Oh, yes.
3 cheers. Huh? They are taking that drug. I'm only joking, sir. 3 cheers. When people are taking, young people are taking that drug, because it gives them chemically a heightened sensitivity, right? Psychedelic state of mind, which is their consciousness is made much more acute, much sharper, much more sensitive. And in that state they feel most extraordinary things. But that state cannot be maintained. They fall down. So they have to take it again tomorrow. And so on, it becomes like any other drink. So, temporarily, we can become very sensitive. Through drugs, through chemicals, through the very urgency. Right? But to be sensitive, not periodically, occasionally, one begins by being aware of the world in which we live, the propaganda, the whole structure of it. And then if you are, then your mind becomes extraordinarily sharp, much more sharp than any chemical produced, any chemical can possibly produce. I know a friend who took LSD. He was experimenting with two doctors beside him. He said when he took it, first few seconds it had no effect. But he was sitting in a chair and there was a vase of flowers in front of him. He was leaning back in the chair after taking it and there was no effect. But the moment he moved a little bit to the side, immediately what took place was the disappearance of space between himself and the flower. Right? Has it ever happened to you without the drug to be free of the space?
Yes.
Yes, sir?
Yes, but I had taken LSD before, and the trip was over, and then the excitement is over, but then really there is a change of life that maintains.
I know, wait sir, I know this, I know. That means what?
That
Chemically, in the brain cells themselves, there's been an effect. Is that what you're saying?
He says that it maintains afterwards.
That's what he says. That, sir, just listen, this is really, find out, sir, look, one takes this LSD and there are other forms of psychedelic drugs, hypnotic drugs. I'm not using the word hypnotic in the sense hypnosis. Now, you take it. What takes place? Chemically, there's been a change. Right? What you call it, taking a trip. Now, that trip has produced a certain chemical change in you, or the drug has produced certain chemical changes in you, and therefore you have taken a trip. Right? I know you probably haven't taken it. I haven't taken it, but I know. Yes. What will you say? Something?
No, I say yes because it can only like the way you see it.
Chemical.
Yes.
Now, so we are also made up of many chemicals. You follow in our system. There are the chemistry is going on all the time. What's wrong with taking a drug?
From yourself.
And you don't see the point of that. If by adding to the already a very complex structure of chemicals in me, I add a new drug, and that makes me feel extraordinary and maintains that. If it is so, many people have taken it, it's not so. They've ended up in asylum, They have been killed because they think they're more, and in that state they can do anything. They jump out of the window. There have been cases when they have taken this drug, they feel so powerful they stand in front of a rushing bus and they're killed. And also it affects mentally the people who have taken it, and many have ended up in an asylum. No, so mere, so look, when you fast, when you don't eat very much for many days, when you don't eat for many days, certain chemistry changes in your system, doesn't it? I don't know if you have tried that. That's fairly simple. You don't have to. Huh? Your whole chemistry undergoes a change. And in that state, you become much more sensitive, much more alert. You see things much sharper. So what does all this indicate? That we demand experiences, right? Don't we? Huh? No?
Yes. Yes.
Other than the experiences that we have had, which have become a bore, which have become a routine. Right? So one takes that pill and one has an extraordinary experience. So at the base of all this is the demand for wider and deeper experiences. Right? Right, sir?
Yes.
Now, why do you want experiences? I don't say you shouldn't, but why do we want experiences?
For the same reason why you want freedom.
Yes.
Ah! I said to you, sir, by denying, you don't know what freedom is. But by denying what is not free, there is freedom. You can't want freedom about which you know nothing. You can only want something about which you know. Right? Sorry.
Daily life is annoying.
People?
Daily life is annoying.
Yes, daily life is a bore, annoying, frightful, the routine of it. Going to the office, the repetition of sex, the pleasure, pain, all that every day of your life. It's very boring. So you say, well, life being what it is, that hideous thing, I want much better experience. So you take drugs, or you fast, or you do something. So before you take drugs or fast, why do you crave for experiences? Now, sir, what is involved in experience? You see, you've gone into all this.
The need,
No, there's little more than that. You look at it. What is involved in experience? When I say I want much deeper, more beautiful experiences, what's involved in it? I must be able to recognize the beauty of it. Right?
Yes.
Otherwise, I wouldn't call it more beautiful. The principle of recognition is involved, isn't it?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Right? I don't know if they are. Now, when I'm able to recognize something, it's already old.
Which means that there's an identification.
Which means identification, which means I've already identified with myself with something which is over, and therefore I'm able to recognize something. So it is really the old, recognizable, only extended. So a man who craves for experience is caught in a dreadful trap. I don't know, Is caught in the trap of his own projections. There was a priest who took the LSD and he saw the most extraordinary thing. He saw Christ or a star, which was the outcome of his own conditioning. And because he saw it, it altered his life. He became much more of a Christian. You follow? So before, well, this is a tremendous question. Can one live, please listen, can one live without experience? And therefore live much more intensely, much more clearly. Because now experiences keep us awake, right? Which is the constant challenge of life, keeps us awake. Otherwise we would be gone to sleep. And if you had no challenge, you would be fast asleep, obviously.
If the challenge is a projection, you'll still sleep.
Of course. So one asks oneself whether you can live without any experience, but tremendously alive.
Sir, daily life exists. In daily life there are many adversaries. And if you if you have an experience of life, you do see the adversaries.
I haven't understood this. Perhaps you'll say it in Dutch and perhaps somebody will translate.
Nou, het dagelijks leven bestaat er uit allerlei tegenstellingen en ik bedoel dat het hele leven bestaat er uit tegenstellingen, uit allerlei de menselijke cultuur bestaat er uit tegenstellingen.
You're saying that the daily life and human culture in general is consisting of always of oppositions,
yeah,
negative,
opposite,
positive, contraries, opposites.
Yeah. Oh, contrary, yes. So, what's the question? Can one be free of the opposites?
But those oppositions can be worse for die tegenstellingen die kunnen toch waardevol zijn.
He says that these opposites can have a certain value.
So war has certain value. Huh? Everything has certain value.
I don't mean war.
No, opposites are opposites. No, so look. Now, what is an opposite? I'm angry. The opposite of that is not anger, right? Why do I want the opposite? Why is there the opposite at all? There's the woman and the man, dark and light, black and yellow, and so on, so on. That's obvious. But why is there in us the opposite at all? No, madam, do look at it. So, look, I am violent. And I have the opposite of it, which is non-violence. Why do I want the opposite?
You can't look at the actual thing.
Huh?
Because you can't look at the actual thing.
Why? No, can I look at violence through non-violence? Therefore, why do I have the opposite?
Think that I then shall be happier. when I am non-violent, for instance.
Non-violent.
When I think that when I am non-violent, that
Yes,
I am
sir. But
happier
wait,
than-
wait. But wouldn't you be happier when there is no violence? Why do you want the ideology or the idea of non-violence?
It's an idea. People has told me, for instance,
Huh?
Other persons has told me that it is better to be non-violent or that I am that society accepts me than.
Oh, I'm not interested in what other people say. That's a dreadful bore. I want to know why I have two ideas: violence, non-violence. Which is the actual, sir? Violence, obviously, is the actual. Why don't I deal with that instead of having an opposite?
I don't like it.
And no, madam, it's not a question of like.
No, but I don't want it, the violence, so I invent non-violence.
But there may be a way of getting rid of violence. If you know the way of being free from violence, why do you want the opposite?
Yes, but I don't know that.
And therefore find out. Don't invent the opposite.
But you must have something to compare with it.
Wait, sir. So, quite right. So what happens? Do you know violence because through comparison with non-violence?
If you have nothing to compare
Wait,
with
sir,
violence,
wait, look at it. Do you know violence because you have something to compare it with, which is non-violence? Do you know you are hungry because yesterday you are hungry? And you're comparing your hunger to yesterday's hunger? Or you are actually hungry?
well, then you can recognize it.
Do you recognize hunger? No. You're just hungry and you want food. So said, look, please do consider this. Human beings are violent. And they have invented the opposite as a means of getting rid of violence, right? But actually what happens? There is the ideal and the actual fact. When you are pursuing the ideal, you are avoiding the fact, aren't you? Huh? When I am pursuing non-violence, saying I must be non-violent, I will be non-violent, when you say that, you are being violent and showing violence. No? Huh? So why do you want ideals at all? Only deal with the fact, which is I'm violent. Can I be free of that violence?
Only when you feel no experience of it. Then you are free.
But you hit me and I hit you. There is a direct experience.
Yes, then you cannot not be free from it.
No, I think we are misunderstanding the word.
You think there's only free of violence when there's no more feeling of violence?
Oh no. I am violent, I get angry, or I am brutal. I'm saying, why do you have an ideology at all about it? Why don't you look at it directly as we went through the flower and the tree and all the rest of it? Why can't I look at it directly without the ideology?
It is not a name, it is the experience you have.
Yes, so, but in that state of experiencing violence, why there is no ideology of non-violence, right? I am violent. Now, that violence has produced tremendous misery in the world, wars and all the rest of it. Now, why do I want an ideology to be free from it? Why can't I say, well, violence, and I see the nature of violence, and deny violence?
I think because we don't like the result of violence, we look for non-violence.
And no, sir, no. But look, we've had, within the last 5,000 years, 15,000 wars. That means 2.5 wars every year. For 5,000 years, that's as long as his history has existed, but imagine there must have been many more wars before that. And we have accepted that as the way of life, war, right?
I know.
And my darling sir, you're not, but but man has accepted it. You and I may say war is dreadful, I won't take part in it. But you do take part.